What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another video journey episode. Today is going to be a little bit more interesting than usual, because right now I'm in a mood. I'm not in a mood to yap about everyday stuff, but I'm in a mood because I just came back from a psychologist appointment. And so that was quite interesting. I took notes, okay? And I have on the, what is it called? Google Notes, Google Keep, whatever. And so I'm checking them on my iPad, okay? Because, yeah. So, first of all, he asked me last time to create like a timeline of events that I remember from my life, because I don't remember a lot. Now, apparently, he asked me to do a timeline of like big events, transformational events that I remember, but I just did events that I remember, which were, when I wrote it down, a total of 9. Now, after that, it was a total of 11. And he asked me positive, negative, whatever. I just remember timeline of events that I remember. I didn't think they had to be transformative, but so I could just read them all out, because why not? So, one memory, I'm just gonna go through them. You'll know when each one starts and which one ends. At my grandma's, playing board games and eating pudding. She's not my real grandma, but like that. Positive, before the age of 8. Eating berries from our garden on a weekend day with my mom, brother, and I think my father as well, but I'm not sure. Positive, before the age of 8. My dad sitting on and choking my mom. Negative, before the age of 8. An apartment where we used to live, everyone was in their rooms, heard yelling and things being thrown. Once I was quiet, I checked, saw things lying around like they were thrown. Plus, I think my mom was crying, don't remember. Between the ages of 8 to 12. After school, mom took me to the police to report my dad. He got escorted out of apartment by cops into their car. Age 11 or 12. Age 11 to 12. Playing Super Smash Bros. On Wii and Switch with my brother. Positive, repeatedly between the ages of 8 to 18. Seeing my dad on my way to school, visibly shaking and worried / full of emotion. Negative, between the ages of 12 to 15. My dad appearing at my school randomly during the day to bring me food while we had no contact. Neutral, it was just unexpected, between the ages of 12 to 15. Because I have no idea, right? That's why between the ages. Because I know in what apartment or where I was living. So that's why these, I'm not done yet, but that's why these distinctions of age. Because I know I lived in we lived in a house till I was 8, and then we moved. Then we lived in this certain apartment, in a hotel low-key, but they also rented apartments between the ages of 8 to 12. Then between 12 to 15, I was still living in the same town, same city, but with my mom and not together with my dad anymore. And then after the age of 15, moved to Berlin, right? So, yeah. So, where was I? Then, my mom going through my phone and crying over something she found. Negative, between the ages of 12 to 15. Waking up in the middle of the night to see my dad going through my phone as well as both of them. He was on WhatsApp looking at chats between me and mom and brother. Negative, between the ages of 12 to 15. Mom asking me for my dream, but then laughing about it a few weeks later. Negative, between the ages of 15 to 17. I forgot to ask him that. I wrote a note down there and then I forgot to ask him that. But, so that's the events that I remember. Now, there's obviously a lot in that, what I just said. I don't remember. Well, first of all, I don't think that's a lot. That's essentially everything I remember between, before the age of 17. Before I started working on myself. And even since I started working on myself, yes, I remember quite a lot more than this. But, you know what I mean? 17 years of my life and I only remember 11 things right now. It's kind of crazy. So, yeah. And I only remembered 9 at the point of me writing this. So while I was talking about it, 2 more things, because also he asked some questions. Um, so that was my homework, you could say. Then talked a bit more. Well, we at the start we briefly talked about things right now, but then obviously went to this. Then he asked me some interesting question. He was like, because I said I haven't been in contact with my dad since I don't know even know how long, at least 5 years, maybe more, probably 5 or 6 years. I think. I don't think 7. I don't think 7, but like at least 5 years. Um, and so, and even before that, as you can see, I barely have any memories of my dad. So like, and thinking back, I can definitely see, that. Wait, I need to check if I set an alarm. Yes, I did, because I made protein pancakes mixture. I can definitely see that the way I was before I started working on myself was very fatherless. Like you could see it. I don't know, that there was no, especially as a guy, like you need a father figure to know how to be. You need a role model, to know how to be or how not to be, I guess. But like you need a role model to know how to be, what values and everything, right? To have a sense of direction in life. And I very clearly didn't have one. My brother also still doesn't have one, I would say. So I'm glad I do now. But definitely before I started working on myself, it was very, what the fuck? Oh, okay, never mind. It was very visible, like looking back on it. So, yes. If there were any questions that I would ask my dad, if he was 100% honest, because I was like, well, there's been like times when he was like, oh, contact me and whatever. And I did think about contacting, but my mom would always be like, I don't think it's a good idea to contact him because he's very manipulative. Otherwise, I wouldn't have stayed with him as long as I have. But so I would like advise you to wait till you are like at least 18 or maybe older, you know what I mean? But if you want to, you can, but I would be like worried. Or like be careful, Shio. So I listened to her. I was like, okay, I didn't have a need to contact him. I was like, I can wait. There's no issue. But also like then I thought about once I was 18, 19, I was like, all right, well, do I actually want to contact him, now that I am that age? And I was like, well, not really, because what would it bring me? Like, okay, if I contact him to see if he's still the same person, like I was like maybe a little bit curious about if he's the same person as all I've heard, because I don't have any memories of him, barely, or if like he's different, right? Wanted to see for myself. But then, so there's then two outcomes, right? He is just the same. He's still very manipulative. He's still all of that. And then I'll be like, okay, nice to know. So I'm definitely not gonna be in contact with you. And the other option is then he's not the same. He's changed maybe, or he's improved, right? Well, actually, there's 3 options. And then but then again, even if he changed, even if he improved, I don't know if I would actually want to be in contact with him, because like, well, I guess that's kind of the third option. How can I really know that he has changed? Because like, what if he's just manipulating me? You know what I mean? What if he's such a good actor? Because like the best way to spread lies is if you believe in it yourself and like speak about it like it's the truth, because when people are so convinced that what they know is the truth, then they will say it with such a conviction, and nothing will tell you that it's a lie, except for when you get the real truth, when it's like that might be what is true to them, but it's not the truth. You know what I mean? So like, he might be manipulative still, or he might just have completely manipulated himself in a way that he doesn't even, you know what I mean? So yeah. So like, why would I contact him? I don't know, no desire. It's a shame, but it is what it is. So, questions to my dad if he was 100% honest. That's what the psychologist asked me. So I said, thought for a bit. And right away, like the first thing within literally seconds, the first thing that came to my mind was like, why? Why was he the way that he was to my mom? Why was he abusive? Why was he not giving her anything? Why was he the way he was to his wife, right? Then I thought for a bit more. Then I wrote down then I said, why did he want to be closer to me, right? Because he would send me messages till I was 18, then he stopped. Like, oh, sometimes just I miss you. Sometimes like, you can always call me, or I'd like to see you, or shit like that. But when I turned 18, that stopped. So, in a sense, I guess I know the answer to that question, if he's still the same or not. And then, I guess, same. Why did he want to be closer to me? So, kind of like, yes, why did he want to be closer to me? Just manipulation, or because he actually wanted to get closer? Is he even capable of love? Because why would you be manipulative and hurtful and abusive to people that you claim to love? You know what I mean? But I guess the answer to that, why did he want to be closer to me, was kind of given to me once I turned 18 and he stopped. Like, he even was trying to stop paying very small amounts of child support because he's fucking rich. He is rich. He owns his own company. I think multiple hundreds of square meters of just office space. So like, he's doing good. He is doing good. And he like does not want to pay like 200 euros, 250 euros a month. So like, yeah, well, there's a lot more he didn't want to do. But so that was one thing. Then, why did I never speak to my mom and brother about my dad? I said two things when he asked me that: to not upset them, because I don't know how to start the convo. And then he pointed out, I did not say that I don't want to know the answer. So it's like, there's a desire in me to talk to them about it, from what it looks like, because I didn't say I don't want to talk to them about it, or I don't want to know, right? Because I am a curious person. I like to know. I mean, the questions that I asked, the two questions, both start with a why. So like, I'm a curious guy. But like, I personally feel like those two things are not all. Like, yes, I don't want to upset them, especially my mom being through all of that. And even after the divorce, then also, yes, I don't know how to start the convo. But like, I could start it if I wanted to, you know what I mean? So like, that's why these reasons don't feel like that's everything behind these. So I will probably think about it. The thing is, like, there's a faint thought, a faint connection to a thought in my mind to this question, and it's like that I don't really trust them to have. I don't know, but it's like so faint. It's like it's not the answer I'm looking for. You know what I mean? So I guess I'll hopefully think about this a bit more. Maybe find the answer to that. Maybe not. We'll see. It's not a forced thing. I'm not forcing myself to find an answer. If I don't come up with it, then I don't. Then I mentioned when my mom was in Jib last week, I haven't seen her in almost a year, right? And there was one moment where she had lost her wallet. Thankfully, she found it, but like, she lost it. And the first thing she does is extremely hysterical, is extremely emotional. and is like in such a panic mode, and it was like she literally starts raising her voice, being like, "Oh my god, where is it? Where's my wallet? Where's my wallet?" and everything. And I'm like, I said, "Can you please not do this? I am getting really angry right now. We will go back and look for your wallet. We'll try our best to find it, but do not start this fucking hysterical, emotional bullshit, because it makes me extremely angry." And I remember then during the walk back, she was like, "Well, it's not like I was actually hysterical, like inside, like it's not like she was distressed completely by it to the way that she was externally reacting, right? But it was just like I said, an external reaction, not an internal one. Like internally, she was like, ah, shit, I lost my wallet. Now I need to do all that, get all the documents again, pay all that money." But it wasn't like she was like, "Oh my god, the world is going, to end." So, but still, like, so I wrote down as a question because, like, why do I get very angry with her about that? The guy said something about, I didn't write it down, but so I have to remember, but it was something along the lines of, maybe I remember the times when she used to cry after, like, the events that I mentioned earlier. For example, there was two, or when she was being emotional, hysterical, and she was unable to do anything, and that just gets me back there. Or maybe it is like, because I don't remember anything about how I felt. Like, I told you the events, right? For example, my dad sitting on and choking my mom before the age of 8. I know that I was like yelling at my dad to get off and like to stop and all that, but I don't remember actually feeling angry. I don't remember in my memory that I was angry. I know that I probably was, but I don't have that feeling. Just like, when you think of like the best moment in your life, you feel the happiness you felt. Or when you were extremely angry, you feel the anger. But when I think back on that memory, there's no feeling there. It's like disassociated, you know what I mean? So maybe that anger is sort of related to that, in the sense that, yeah, it brings like back things that are buried, because I don't remember how I felt, right? I literally, whenever he asks me how I felt during events in the past, I tell him, well, I don't know, but I would say I felt this way because it makes sense. But I genuinely don't remember. Like, or also he asked me, well, yeah, or, well, when he asked me the first time that I told him about the part of my dad sitting on my mom and choking her, he was like, "Oh, so how do you feel about it then? Or how did you felt?" And I'm like, well, I was yelling and I was probably upset and confused, but I don't know. Like, I don't know. So it would make actually, this makes actually sense that, is it, wait, related, wait, let me write this down. Is it, no, not is it. Might be related to when mom was crying. Hey, blech, I deleted all of it. Oh my god, with my fucking phone. I have it back. Okay, wait a minute. To when my mom was crying / being emotional and unable to do things, to do anything, or it brings back emotions that I couldn't fully express back then, ? I guess, something like that. Yeah. Then, what was the last one? Ah, here. What kind of relationship do I want to have with my mom and people in general? Because for me, a major thing in any type of human relationship is trust. If I don't trust someone, it's like there's no relationship. Like, I naturally mistrust people, but like, also at the same time, I'm, I guess, gullible and trusting. But like, I slowly increase the trust. I don't just trust a stranger with fucking everything. You know what I mean? Like, it's a process, which I think is very healthy. But once you've shown me that I cannot trust you, then there's no way to return. Like, bro, get the fuck out of my life. Like, it's worse than people I hate because, like, yes, I can hate people, but like, or like dislike people. I can, yeah, dislike. I don't know if I hate people, but like, I can dislike people and not want to be near them. But a break of trust after there was trust is like on a whole other level. Like, for example, I can still trust my someone that I dislike to fucking do something for me, or I can trust someone that I dislike to act in a certain way because I know how they act or behave, right? But when someone that I used to trust a lot has broken my trust, and it's like I don't even want to spend a single thought on you ever again. Like, get the fuck out of my life. And sadly, very sadly, that has happened, I would say, at least twice in my life. One was my mom. When I read the fucking timeline, mom asking me for my dream, but then laughing about it a few weeks later because I remember when I first started working on myself, I was like, I want to be financially free. I want to have time freedom, location freedom, and financial freedom, right? So I just want freedom. And she was like, oh, don't, at first she was taking it well. And she was like, oh, don't forget about us once you do that. And then a few weeks later, I don't know, we're talking about that again. And she's like laughing. She's like, do you really believe in that? Or, and I'm like, I look at her and I'm like, I look at her for 10 seconds because I remember it was before we got into the car. I look at her for like 10 seconds. She gets in the car and I just stand there in absolute shock. And after that, especially the first time, because then I started working on myself, I started changing my life a lot, started being essentially a completely different person. And I would be very upset with her and I was hurt, obviously, right? I would not share anything. It's not even that I didn't share anything, but I would react negatively. Like, she would be like, hey, well, what are you doing? And I'd be like, why do you want to know? Like, why do you want to know? I don't want to tell you anything. Leave me the fuck alone. Like, stuff like that. And but then I would feel bad afterwards, right? For doing that. But also it's a very valid response, like, bro. So, and I think that still there's after effects of this moment. Like, I still don't, like, I haven't seen my mom in a year, right? And she's like, oh, what have you been up to? What has been happening in your life? A lot has happened, okay? A lot has happened since I moved to a different country. But like, nothing that I wanted to share with her. A lot has happened, a lot was negative, but I've learned so much from that, right? Because that's how it goes. But there's like not a single negative thing that has happened to me that I wanted to share with her. I said like, oh, and not even positive, bro. Like, I don't know. There was like, I said, well, I'm going to this new gym and I don't know what else. I'm making friends and I talk to a lot of people. I got this internship. I didn't even tell her I had an internship until very recently. So like, but I've been telling my friends about it. So literally after that, especially at the start, like in the initial time after that, there was no amount of information that I would share with her. And I know it also must have been very hurtful for her because she said multiple times, it feels like I'm living with a stranger. Oh, tinnitus is kicking in, need to crack my neck. It feels like I'm living with a stranger and shit. And I'm like, okay, well, you did this to yourself. Like, what do you want from me? Just leave me alone, like, genuinely. I genuinely didn't want anything else other than to be left alone by her. I didn't want her to be part of my life whatsoever, and that's actually very sad. That's actually very sad. So, and then the second one was with someone I used to call my best friend, who I met in this country. And there was a moment at the end of February, I believe, where after that I could not trust her anymore. I did not feel like I could trust her. When I also didn't want to share, like, for example, right, I bought this shit for myself, right, and she's like, oh, why didn't you tell me? Because I asked her to fix it because there was a hole in it when it arrived, and she's like, sure, I can do it, whose is it from? And I'm like, I don't want to tell you. And she's like, okay, what the fuck? But then she asked me again in person, was like, I find it very rude that you didn't want to tell me, like, whose it is, because, like, if you're asking me to fix it, then at least give me some info, you know what I mean? So I'm not gonna fix someone else's teddy bear for you. That's my alarm to make pancakes. But I said, well, yeah, I bought it for myself. She's like, did you think I would judge you for that? Whereas my thought process didn't even go there, because I know she wouldn't. But it's like, you've broken my trust to such a level that there's no amount of information that I want you to have. Like, just be gone. You know what I mean? So, but then still we tried to work it out. We had convos and we're like, oh yeah, well, we'll have convos about this and talk through shit and then blah, blah, blah. But then again, I was supposed to have a convo with her last week, but then my mom was in town. I was like, I'm not gonna have a convo with you when my mom is in town. She was like, very fair. Let's aim for the week after that then. So then I asked her on Sunday when she's free. I said, I'm not free in the evening. And then she said, I don't want to talk to you. And so at this point, I'm like, I've tolerated all your bullshit all this while. Yes, you have also tolerated mine. Yes, you have. I'm not discrediting that. I'm not saying I didn't do any bullshit. But I've tolerated your bullshit for too long to even want to work on it. Like, if you don't want to have a conversation, I was always the one who, like, initiated any conversation. It's like, you know, she disappeared, took her time to think, which is fine, but then never actually came back to me to talk with me about it. Whereas that's what I need. And we know each other. We're best friends. We're like, I know she needs time to think. She knows I need to talk about it. Yet there's never been a single moment when she ever came to talk to me about something. It was always me asking. Like, I would give her space. I would be like, okay, I'm not going to text you. I'm not going to talk to you. Take your time to think. And then let me know when you want to talk about it. I think the longest time for that process was like 2 weeks. And then after 2 weeks of the event happening, I was like, so are we gonna have a conversation or what the fuck? And then she got upset at me for speaking like, so are we, because I hadn't texted her for 2 weeks, and I was like, so are we gonna talk about it, or do you just want to continue like this? And she was very upset at me, and I'm like, bitch, like, I didn't say this to her, but like, bitch, no, bitch, like, bitch, you know what I mean? Well, but yeah, and that was the second time. And there, when I felt like, oh, I don't want to share any information with her, I mentioned that, and I was like, well, this is probably related to my mom's incident, you know what I mean? like the fact that my mom left in my dream. So yeah. But also, I do have to say at the same time, wait, where is it? Yeah, I get very angry when my mom is being hysterically emotional. But I am also, like, while I do get very annoyed and very upset about when people just do that in general, I'm a little bit nicer and I'm a little bit more patient. So I remember when that girl, who I used to call my best friend, um, when she used to, because she's very traumatized, when she used to get like emotional and when for no reason, you know what I mean, when she get very emotional, very hysterical, I would be like it depends. Like sometimes when it was obvious to me that she just got triggered, and I would say, I didn't mean to trigger you, sorry for doing that, and explained. But then other times when it wasn't, like when she just get upset at me for something that I understand one could get upset about, but she like overdid it. You know, it's one thing. Like if someone does something I dislike, I will be like, hey, I dislike what you just did. Can you not do that? And I will not start yelling and, being like all emotional about it. In general, I am very much so in control of my emotions in the sense that I put my emotions aside and I would like to talk about things. And I dislike it when people are like emotional and they're unable to fucking have a proper conversation. They're unable to fucking listen because all they're hearing is what they want to hear or what their fucking emotional self is hearing. You know what I mean? And I'm like, when stuff like that would happen, like over something that there's no fucking valid reason to get upset over, she'd get very upset. I'd be like, look, I know you are very traumatized as a person as a whole, but watch your fucking self. Like, yes, I try to be patient with you, but I'm not gonna sit here and tolerate all your fucking bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, watch your fucking self. Yeah, fucking healthy, I think, I believe. Even if it's not, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit if it's healthy or not. Actually, I really don't. I have enough self-respect to fucking not deal with all that bullshit. Oh. Maybe should have changed it. Yeah, well, it is what it is. Anyways, something smells very strange in my kitchen. Maybe I need to take the trash out. I hope that's it, because it smells very disgusting. Maybe it's this amount of fucking dishes I need to do from last Friday, from the Russian evening that I did with my friend. Way late. Okay. All right. Now that this was a very deep, very intense journaling session, I will go make pancakes and listen to music and vibe a bit. You know what I mean? And then later I have Aikido. I'll be making pancakes for an hour and then I also already have to go, brother. What the fuck? How is it this late already? Oh my god, I thought I had like an hour more. Shit. Okay. Fuck. Okay, well, at least I used the time well. Because I was texting with the girl I'm interested in, and I was like, sorry, I will text you back later, because like right now I'm kind of, like my attention and my everything, like my energy, my attention is right now being put to something else. And like, it's not like I don't want to talk to you right now, it's just that there's something I need to think about. And I'm not always in the mood to think about it. So I'd appreciate it if you could give me like a little bit of time to think. I don't want to I don't want to text. I fucking hate texting, first of all. But for the right people, I will fucking do it, obviously. Like for my good friends and I will text them for hours. I don't give a shit because I want to talk to them. But I was like, yo, I've actually never done this. I could say I'm quite proud of myself for doing that, because I was like, yo, I can feel my attention and my energy being drawn to this, what I've just spoken about for the last hour with my psychologist. So like, I need to think about it. I'll get back to you. And she was asking like, what are you thinking about? And I said, well, I gave a screenshot of the 4 notes. And I was like, well, this is like the topic, like this is the direction. And she's like, oh wow, that's a lot. And then she's like being very sweet about it. She's like, well, if you want to talk about it, we can. Let me know when you're, she was being very nice about it. She was being very sweet about it. And she says she's not sweet or not cute or not adorable. Yeah, she's very nice. Anyways, so I like her. I do like her. I do have to say. Okay. What? Fuck, no, I can't stop fucking smiling. Shit. Oh my god, what a fucking turnaround. For half an hour, I was reading the most impressive shit ever. Generational trauma. Because also my dad was like, I know from my mom that his childhood was even worse. Like his dad was like an alcoholic, abusive, emotionally abusive, and poor. And he was essentially all of the above except for poor. And he thought he was being a good father because he was at least not poor, because a lot of problems, especially with his mom, also came from, the fact that they were poor. So he thought if he was not poor, he'd be a good dad, I guess. That's what I think. What I would think he thinks. But I don't know. So generational trauma at the very least. Because I also don't think my dad's grandpa was probably also not good of a father. You know what I mean? So and I don't know about my mother's side. I really don't. So, and also she grew up in the Soviet Union. So I don't know. Okay, I do not know. But so yeah, interesting shit. Apparently quite deep shit. I don't have an issue talking about it. Obviously, I don't. If I can I'm gonna post a video journal about it on the fucking internet. But like, I don't have a problem talking about it. But it's like, I just want to deal with it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. And it's also not like I'm fucking doing this for, because I want fucking sympathy from strangers on the internet. No, it's like, honestly, please don't fucking write comments where you're like, oh my god, I'm so sorry this happened to you. No, like, fucking please don't actually do this. This would so annoy me. I feel like no one person after I said this would annoy me would say it. Well, anyways, don't do this. I'm gonna block you if you do. Can you even block people on YouTube? I will not do that, bro. I can't be bothered. But just don't do it. I'm not doing this for fucking sympathy or whatever. I'm just video journaling because I want to find out about this shit. Anyways, I've got shit to do. Fuck, I forgot. Oh, man, I've got Aikido. Why do I have Aikido in an hour and 20 minutes? I wanted to read, and I've got to make pancakes for an hour. Okay, I need to go for real. Okay, goodbye. What a fucking turnaround, though. Fucking half an hour of this shit, and then at the end, I'm like, unable to fucking stop smiling because of a fucking sweet girl that I like. Okay, shut up. Actually, goodbye.